Hello, how are you guys? I hope you're doing well. What time is it? Book review time. Dun, 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 dun. What time is it? Did you get that? That was a High School Musical reference. If you didn't, it's totally fine. I am the generation of High School Musical and Hannah Montana. You get the best of both worlds. Na, 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 na. I will stop. I will stop. I'm embarrassing myself. Oh my gosh. Into the Drowning Deep by Mira is what I will be reviewing today. Into the Drowning Deep released November of 2017, so a couple months ago now, but the publisher Orbit Books were kind enough to send a copy my way so that I could review this for you guys today. And trust me when I say that this is a book that you want to get your hands on, okay? You're going to want to, you should, because I said so. But first, some background info, I guess. For those that are unaware, Mira is actually a pen name for Seanan McGuire, who is currently writing the Wayward Children series, I believe is what it's called. It's really big on BookTube. I'm definitely open to it, but I don't know much about them. But nonetheless, Seanan McGuire is Mira Grant. So I haven't read anything under her real name, but I have read previously books under her Mira Grant pen name, and that is her Feed trilogy, which is a trilogy about like the zombie apocalypse kind of thing. It's 3 books. It's Feed, Deadline is the second book, and then Blackout is the 3rd book. I read this trilogy years and years ago. I think Feed came out around 2010, maybe 2011. I'm not too sure, but I ate these books up. They are fantastic. If you like zombies and you have yet to read this trilogy, I highly recommend it, though I did read it around high school, so I mean, my opinion could change if I reread them, but I remember really enjoying them. But now that that's out of the way, let's just dive into my review of Into the Drowning Deep. Years ago, a ship funded by a film company goes on a voyage to the Marianas Trench to film a mockumentary on mermaids, which sounds like a really fun time, to be honest. I would love to do something like that. But unfortunately, it doesn't end well for the crew. It never does it? All hands are lost shortly after a video is leaked of the crew being attacked by these mermaids. Now, because this crew went out to film a mockumentary, most people believe that the video is fake. They think this whole charade is a hoax. And that's what here on out people just assume. This entire thing is a hoax. It's not real. It can't be real because mermaids are not real, right? But years later, another crew is formed and funded by this exact same film company to go out to the Marianas Trench again and to find out what really happened to this lost crew, and to find out if these said creatures of legend are really fake or if they're real. Read to find out. So Into the Drowning Deep at its core is just a thrilling sea monster story. Marine scientists out to save the day. Such gripping writing that throws the reader through such claustrophobic tension. You will feel like you are trapped in the middle of the ocean along with this cast of characters. And while this is your typical sea monster story, it's surprisingly so much more. Now, I don't mean to look down on other books of this same vein. My favorite book of all time falls in this category, but usually these type of stories bring forth characters that you're not very fond of. You look forward, or rather you're rooting for the monster as opposed to the humans. That's usually how it goes with these books. But this book is surprisingly, like I said, very different. And it's different because Grant has provided us with a plethora of such unique characters that you don't often see in these stories. For example, we have so many kick-ass female scientists that I'm just very happy to see. Not only that, but you have lesbian scientists, bi scientists. A huge portion of this book talks about sign language, and they were all the more interesting because of the backstories given for them. I found that it seemed that all of these characters were searching for something. And as ridiculous as it is of a plot that's trying to convince you that killer mermaids have always been among us, we've just over time forgotten them. An idea that inevitably still had me rolling my eyes because, I mean, come on, killer mermaids. The thought kind of makes me giggle. But because of Grant's writing and the way that she fleshed out these characters, it somehow felt plausible in however weird of a way that may seem. It did. This almost makes me want to think twice before I jump in the water again, though probably not. I mean, I like the water a bit too much, but you get what I mean. Now, on top of that, this book also brings up discussions that I live for. Discussions I literally live for, because if we as humans don't make an effort to change, we're going to eventually kick the bucket. And, well, that sucks. And so what I mean by that is that Mira Grant talks a lot about the environment. Basic stuff that we're all aware of. We treat the environment terrible. You know, the earth will be fine though, because the earth will cycle through, the earth will do what it has to do to keep on moving. It always does. But we might not be able to tag along. We might not survive, and other creatures might. Other creatures will thrive while we just go away. And I think it's great when fiction books really, you know, punch you in the face with these issues, because it's something that we really need to hear about. On another note, where does Into the Drowning Deep go wrong? It doesn't really go wrong, and it doesn't really fall flat either. But at a whopping 438 pages, which might not seem too large to some people, to me it felt pretty hefty. This story definitely had some pacing issues, and I felt that if this would have been compacted into a slightly shorter novel, it would have gripped and enticed and intrigued the reader that much more. But I hope that doesn't turn many readers away, because overall Into the Drowning Deep is an edge of your seat science fiction horror deep sea thriller sort of thing. And if you're a fan of Jaws by Peter Benchley or Meg by Steve Alten, this is something you must pick up. Or if you're really into mermaids, definitely pick this up, though just be wary, this is not your Disney friendly Little Mermaid. Ariel is nowhere to be found in this book, so just keep that in mind. Thank you again to Orbit Books for sending a copy my way. This really hit the spot for my love of sea creature books, and I think I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but this is the first book of a series, so there will be a sequel. It's not out yet, but you know, I sit here patiently waiting for the sequel that I wish was in my hands right now, because I need it. I need the sequel. That is my review of Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any thoughts or opinions, I would love to chit chat with you in the comments below. If you have any other recommendations for sea monster books, if you have any mermaid recommendations or whatever, I don't know. I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye.